So I've been working on something and I don't want to give anything away, but what I will tell you is that as a result of working on this project, I have met some huge content creators. I've not just met them, but I've spoken to them. I've asked them questions about how they got to where they are. And in today's video, I'm going to be summarizing some of the biggest lessons I learned from those creators. If you want to know what I'm working on, make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the notification bell because it will be coming out soon. By the way, this video is sponsored by Storyblocks. More on them later. Okay, first thing that I learned that might surprise you. In fact, most of these things might surprise you. Let me know if it surprises you in the comments. The first thing is that no one does this by themselves. And what I mean by that is these creators that you see, that you love, that you admire, and you think to yourself, how do you do all this by yourself? Like, how do you get all of this done? The answer is they don't do it by themselves. They all have teams. Even the creators who will tell you that they don't have a team, they still probably have a team because they have a management agency. And something that a lot of us as like viewers of these creators' content don't quite understand or don't quite see just from consuming their videos is just how much of a role these other team members play in their whole content creation process. Let me tell you a story just to bring this to life. So I was in South of France once. God, that sounds like the most bougie sentence in the world. When I was in South of France, I was in South of France with a brand and I was doing a speaking gig for them, right? In addition to myself, there were 4 other creators who were all there doing literally the same thing as me. We were just doing different speaking gigs, but we were all there with the same brand and we were going to spend the next 5 days together. I showed up by myself. Not even my husband was with me. Usually Jamie gets dragged along, but it was literally just me. I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, I don't need anyone. I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to rock up by myself. Every other creator there had someone with them. Even the creators who do most things by themselves would at least have their management with them. One of the creators had 5 people with them. 5, including...
Wait for it.
His personal trainer. One of the creators had a personal trainer with them and he'd flown from the US to the south of France with a team of 5, one of them being his personal trainer because he couldn't miss out on his workout. I mean, look, I'm not judging. If anything, I'm probably a bit jealous. It's quite the flex to rock up with a group of people and one of them is your personal trainer, right? So the point is that people have teams. And when I was speaking with one of the creators who was there with her manager, the dynamic was so interesting to me and it really opened my eyes as to how creators are able to capture all of their content when they're out and about. Because this creator was a fashion creator. She was vlogging her entire trip and she was also getting videos and photos to share on her social media channels throughout the whole week, which is a workload that a lot of us would struggle with. We'd forget to vlog, we'd forget to get an outfit pick, and then we'd tell ourselves that we're terrible creators. But with this dynamic, the manager would be the one who would take majority of her photos. The manager was also the one that would remind her to vlog, that would keep her accountable. And it really brought to life how important and how valuable it can actually be to have even just one person around you whose purpose is to support your content creation when you're out and about. So if you're someone who is working by themselves right now and you're wondering how everyone else does it, just know that they normally have people who help them. And if you're managing to create content consistently by yourself, that is incredibly impressive, okay? So cut yourself some slack. The next thing that I learned from some of these creators is that they do not film all of the content that you see. Let me explain. So let's say you're watching a vlog and it is a vlog from someone in New York. And in between this vlog, there are all these incredible scenes of like the streets of New York. There's like drone footage. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, this is a cinematic masterpiece. Like, how did this person create this? The truth is, a lot of creators use stock footage in order to support and bolster their content. And by doing this, they're able to create content that is super, super high quality. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, and I really recommend that all creators explore this, the tool that I recommend for your stock footage is, of course, Storyblocks. Now, utilizing stock footage in your content is genuinely, I think, the ultimate hack. It's something that I wish I knew previously. It would have saved me so much time, and it also would make my content super high quality, even in the earliest days of my journey. Now, if you don't know already, Storyblocks is a stock media subscription service, which has a huge library of videos, audio, images, sound effects, and even templates that you can utilize to take your content to the next level. Now, the most important thing to note about Storyblocks, in my opinion, is the fact that you get unlimited access to all of these media assets at one monthly subscription cost. This is really important because a lot of other tools out there will make you pay per item. So it's like you want a video, you pay £10 for the video. That does not happen with Storyblocks. You pay one monthly subscription fee and that unlocks unlimited use to their huge library of content. By utilizing the assets in Storyblocks, you can be rest assured that all of your content is legally covered. They utilize clear-cut licensing and coverage to ensure that you're able to focus on creating the best content possible and not having to worry about legal rights. What this just basically means, in like layman's terms, I suppose, is that anything you download from Storyblocks when you have a subscription is 100% royalty free. In addition to this, when you integrate your YouTube channel with Storyblocks, this will enable whitelisting, which massively reduces the likelihood of copyright strikes and claims. If you're worried that you won't be able to find the right videos, images, audio, sound effects, templates for your videos, you can rest assured, because Storyblocks genuinely has the best motion library on the market, and they refresh their library frequently with commissioned content to meet customer demand. It basically means that they fill the gaps of content which is needed, and they also clear their library to ensure that the best and most relevant content is being shared to you when you're looking for it. So to get started with your unlimited stock media downloads at one set price, head to storyblocks.com/Jade Beeson, or you can click on the link in my description. Okay, so another key lesson that I learned from these super successful creators is that they followed their passion and not the money. This is a really, really common one, especially when I was talking to the OG creators who were producing content on Instagram or YouTube before influencing was a thing, like before there was any money in the industry. They were doing that out of passion for the subject that they were talking about. For example, I spoke with someone who runs a fan network. Don't want to give too much away, so that's all I'm going to give away. He runs a fan network, and he started his YouTube channel by interviewing fans on the street, right? This was before like street interviews were a thing. This was before he could make any money from it. He continued to run with this format, and he continued to engage with these fans. And 12 years later, he now runs one of the biggest fan networks in the world. Like, it is a huge media company. Now, if he was starting his channel for money, he probably wouldn't have done that format. He probably wouldn't have focused on that passion point. And honestly, he wouldn't have become as successful as he did. There is so much more power in following your passion when it comes to what you talk about and who you talk to than following the money. The passion is a thing that's going to get you through those dips in your content creation career where things aren't really working, where you're not getting many views on your content, where you're not earning much. The passion is what's going to get you through those dips and allow you to ride the wave. In addition to this, the passion is genuinely going to be the reason why you end up making money in the long run. And the reason why is because the passion can be felt through the screen. Through this lens that I'm staring at right now, people can sense your vibe. I always say this, people could pick up on your vibe through the screen, right? If you are talking about something that you do not care about, people can tell. Even if you think you're the best actor in the world, I promise you, people will pick up on it, and they won't consider you as the creator to watch when it comes to that topic. The passion will be translated through the screen as long as you're focusing on something that you truly, truly love. Another thing that I learned from these creators is that they don't let others define their identity. So a really great example here was speaking to a creator who is now a gamer. And when she first started her journey, her friends and family were really confused by it. They were like, since when were you a gamer? Because she obviously played games in her spare time, but like didn't talk about it. So they were all kind of like, I don't really see this for you. Now, for the average person, that might stop us from going down that path. We might be like, oh my God, you're so right. I'm not a gamer. What was I thinking? And then go back to doing what you were doing the whole time, being miserable and not pursuing your actual passion or career. If this creator had done that, she wouldn't be where she is now, which is a highly successful gamer and presenter, right? None of that would have happened if she let other people's opinions define her reality. This is really important for anyone who's starting out in their journey, because a lot of the time, the thought that will plague you is, what will others think? Will they think I'm corny for trying to become a creator? Will they think my content is embarrassing until it starts to get more views? We can't let these thoughts and these perceptions by others define who we are. We decide who we are. We decide where we go. Stop giving such immense power to other people. You're essentially letting other people dictate your future, right? Wild to think about. Consciously, we hear that and we think, of course, we're not going to let random people dictate our future. But subconsciously, we end up letting that happen anyway. So I want you to bring that subconscious thought to the forefront and make sure that you're not letting others define your reality. Last but not least, and potentially one of my favorite things that I learned from these creators, is that they all take risks, like substantial risks too. This is one of my favorite things I learned because I am a bit risk averse. Maybe not. Maybe I reckon my friends would be like, that's not true. But I think for the average like entrepreneur, I'm quite risk averse, for example. But these creators are not. The risks that they take come in a bunch of different forms. For example, I spoke with a creator who completely changed her niche, just pivoted her niche randomly on a random Tuesday, pursued a different passion, and it was a huge deal for her, a huge deal for her audience. It was a huge risk, but it panned out. Another creator I spoke to decided to channel the money that she'd earned through content creation into creating her own studio and paying for the whole thing to be outfitted and just hoping that it's going to work. That is a huge financial risk. Almost every creator I spoke to has taken a risk in some way, shape, or form. And luckily for them, it's panned out. But even those creators can tell me times where they've taken risks and it hasn't had the same positive outcome, but they're still happy that they took them, right? You don't learn from mistakes if you don't make them. right? So even if there's something you're considering doing which feels a bit risky, but it's something you feel passionate about, sometimes it's worth testing the waters in a way that feels achievable to you, because you might be missing out on something amazing if you don't actually take that risk. Okay, my loves, those are things that I learned from some very successful creators, more coming from them soon. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about the things that people don't tell you about becoming a content creator. It gets super juicy as well, so I really recommend watching it. Do not forget that you can get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price by signing up to Storyblocks. Head to storyblocks.com/Jade Beeson or click on the link in my description. Thank you so much for watching as always. I cannot wait to see you in my next video.